Hi, this is Carla from Magenta. Welcome to the second part of our four-part series on the various signing options available from Adobe Acrobat Pro. Today, we'll be focusing on the request for e-signatures and what the advantages and disadvantages are of using this method. We will also look at the restrictions when using Adobe Acrobat Standard or the free Adobe Reader. Before we actually go into Adobe Acrobat Pro and I show you how to use the request for signature feature that is available, there are just a couple of things I need to bring to your attention. So if you are using a version of Acrobat that is older than August in 2022, there are some limitations that you will still experience. These are, firstly, that the license of Adobe Acrobat Sign inside Acrobat is only for individual use. And secondly, whether you've got the standard or the professional version, there are only 150 transactions or envelopes that are available to you. So should you run out of these 150 for the year, there is no way for you to top it up. But if you have updated your version of Adobe Acrobat since the 8th of August this year, then this has changed to an unlimited number of Adobe Acrobat Sign transactions within Acrobat Pro, and it is now giving you access to the SMB license. For any of you that are still using a perpetual version, that means a once-off purchase of Adobe Acrobat and not the subscription, you are not going to have these features available to you. Secondly, I would just like to bring some of the feature differences that are different between the standard version of Sign in Acrobat and the professional version. So in standard, you only have a single user license. There are limited administrative functionality in professional, which is not available in standard. And one of the most important things is in standard you can only put the person down as a signer role, whereas in the professional version somebody could either be a signer, which means that their signature is required on the document, or they could be an approver. An approver means if there is a signature field, they can sign, otherwise they can just approve the document without a signature visible on the document. Or you could have somebody which is a form filler. This means somebody just completes the document before it goes out for signing. And the fact that both standard and professional do integrate with Office 365 and Microsoft Teams. When we look at Acrobat Reader, you will see that this limitation is quite limited in the sense that you only can send 2 documents a month, and also you can only have a limit of 6 people on that document to sign. Let's pop into Adobe Acrobat Pro and let's see how to use the request for e-signature feature. Just to recap, in part 1 of this series we dealt with the fill and sign option, which is when you need to sign alone, where you have no other people that need to sign on the document with you. Today's one, we're going to be looking at the request for e-signatures. And if this is going to be the functionality that you are going to use the most, come and click on the add button over here, and this will add it to your quick links panel on the right hand side, which will make it available to you no matter which document you are in. If this is not going to be your default method for signature, another way to get to this tool is via the e-sign menu at the top, and then come down here and choose request for e-signatures. When you load this, you will see that it will come up with a panel where you're going to enter in the email addresses of the people that you want to have on this particular document. Now, it is important to note that all people that need to engage with this document need to be added at this particular point in time, because once the document is signed and sent back to you, you cannot go and send that same document out for signature again. So it is extremely important that you put the people's details in here, and you can have up to 10 people signing a single document. Should you request more than this, you need to look at the full version of Adobe Sign. Now, I'm just going to add 2 names of people that need to be able to sign on this particular document. And you're going to see here that there is a little icon of a calligraphy pen. Now, by clicking on that, this is where you're going to determine the role of the person that is going to be signing. So remember, I said to you in standard, you're only going to have signer, whereas in the professional version, you could allocate different roles to different people. You do have the ability to put somebody on copy. These people will not interact with the document, but they will have line of sight what is happening in the document. Now, the document that I had open on the back end in Acrobat itself, whatever the name of that document is usually going to be the subject line of the email going out to the person that needs to sign that particular document. But you can come in here and change this at any particular point in time. So let's call this training on Adobe Acrobat. Right. You could put a message in here. So this is going to be the body of the email that they've got. I'm just going to use the default that says please review and sign this document. Now remember that this document has got no form fields or fields that are available to indicate to the person where they need to sign and what it is that they need to fill in. So you could come here to specify where to sign, but should you click on the more options here, this is going to give you a couple more options like setting a reminder if you need to do that for the document that is going out. It's just uploading it into the Adobe document cloud. And you can see I've got a couple of little options that are available. So I could go and password protect this document. That means that when this document comes back after it has been signed, it will be secured with whatever password I put in here. Right, I'm not going to put a password on this one, but I am going to come and choose a set reminder, and you could go and say every day, every week, or every other day. You can decide what it is. The person will be reminded until they sign the document. After they have signed, they will no longer receive the reminders. You do not just have to have one particular document uploaded here. So think of this little section over here as an envelope, like a courier envelope when you're calling the courier person out to come and take your parcel away. So when you click on add files, you can go and add some native files that are available to you. So for example, you could go and choose Word documents, Excel documents, not need to convert it to a PDF first. Please note, you are limited to either 10 megabytes or 100 pages. We're then going to say next. This is now going to the authoring page where you can go and put the signature fields or input text boxes for the person that needs to be able to complete this particular document. On the authoring page, you have two options, either the advanced editing option switched on or switched off. I will go through both of these options for you. So with the advanced editing switched off, you will select the names of the people that you have requested to sign this particular document. You will see that they are color coded so that the correct person fills in the correct fields. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the field and click on the area of the document where the form field needs to be placed. And then you're actually going to come and choose a number of options. You could have a text field, you could have a signature field, you could have the signer's name, which we're going to use in this instance. And if we do another one here, I'm going to make this one just an input text field, because this is going to have something that they just require to type in, not their actual name. And then just towards the bottom of the document here, I am just going to choose the signature field. You can see it automatically picked up the word signature because it sees it below it. It's automatically picked up the date field as well, because you can see that it's a date. And the last one here is I'm just going to change that one to the name field as well. Should I wish to do this for the other person, I just need to click on the color for the other person, hover over the fields that are relevant, and then choose the fields that we want to be able to change. Right? So really easy. You could also delete the fields just by clicking on them and deleting fields that you no longer require. For the second lot here, I'm just going to switch advanced editing on, and you will see that there will be a couple of additional options that are available to you. Right, so let me just go to page number 2 where we can find this document. Right, once again you can see it is still color coded, but this time I have to click on the drop down menu and choose the next person. You can see I have a pre-fill option that is available, or a field that either one of the two parties could complete. I'm going to leave this one here, and this time it's just a matter of dragging on the form fields where I would like to place them. So we have things like signature fields, we have things like signer's information fields, so you've got things like name, company name, title, etc., depending on what they want. And then you've got other fields that you couldn't find on the other list. These could be input fields like drop down menu boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, etc. And then of course you've got some transactional fields if you need to have participation numbers, etc. Should you need to change any of these fields in any way, you can either double click on the field and it will give you options like a required or a mandatory field. You could also right click on a field and you have the option to either copy it or repeat it on all the pages. If this is a document you're going to use on a regular basis, you do have the ability to save it as a template. And if you have accidentally had fields that are some longer than others and you need to be able to align them or resize them, holding down your shift key will give you the opportunity to select multiple fields. You can see it has a blue border around it. That's how you know it is selected, and these icons at the top become activated. The first icons are to align to the top, middle, or bottom. The second lot of icons are for the left, center, or right. So I'm going to do the left side. And then the last 3 sets of icons is to set them at the same width, the same height, or the same width and height, depending on what you would like to have. Once you are happy with what you've done, we are going to click on the send button, and this document is now going to send out for signature. Right, Once a document has been sent, you will see here that it said that no reminders have been sent for this document, right? And all agreements that are not completed within a year will automatically expire. You are now most probably wondering, what happened to my document? Where are the signature fields and all of that? That document has already been sent out for signature. Now let's look at the signer's experience. Once you click the send button, the person's email address that you put in will then receive an email with the request for them to be able to sign the document. So all they literally need to do is click and sign on the document. It will open up whatever their default browser is. Doesn't matter if it's on their phone or on their laptop, makes no difference. They will be able to click on continue, and they will then be able to come and fill in some information. Let's just put here Johannesburg. Click on the next button. Here they'll be able to click to sign. There will be 4 methods for them to sign. Either they can go and type their name, they could go and draw their signature, right? Or they can go and upload an image of their signature, or they could request that they put in their mobile phone. They will then receive an SMS. The link will take them to a screen on their mobile device where they can then go and sign their name. They will click apply. It will then appear on their computer screen, and then they can say apply, and their signature, their name, and the date have then been applied. And this will go on to the next person. While your document is out for signature, you will receive notifications either via email or in your version of Acrobat that will actually show you by clicking on the little bell here in the top corner. This will actually show you who had signed it and when they signed it and where your document is at that particular point in time. What you will also receive is a final email that will tell you that the document is actually completed, and by clicking on the link it will actually take you through to the web browser where you can actually go and have a look at the signed document. You can also download the PDF, and you can look at the audit trail. This does not have to be done via the browser. This is accessible via the All Agreements tab in the home screen here within Acrobat. And by clicking on All Agreements, you will be able to see where your document is. So here is the one that we have just completed. And by clicking on that, I can then go and see who signed it. I can see the activity that was happening on the document at any particular point in time, and most importantly, I can download an audit report. This blue ribbon at the top indicates that the document has not been tampered with, and should I click on the little signature icon in the navigation pane, I will be able to see that there is no changes allowed within this document, right? It is a valid certified document, and that the signer's identity is valid. Should you not see the blue ribbon, then this will not be visible to you, and it is not an authentic document, whether it be the PDF itself or whether it be the audit trail that takes you through the step-by-step time, date, IP address, email address of the person that signed the document. Before we look at the request for signing in the free Adobe Reader, I just want to summarize the functionality that is available to you in Adobe Acrobat Pro, together with some of the caveats you should take into consideration. Remember, it is an SMB license, right? You can get documents signed by others using the request for sign option, and it relies on cloud services, Right. It is not available for non-Document Cloud subscription customers. Right, so you have to have a subscription to Document Cloud. You can sign agreements anywhere in a browser or a mobile device. And signers are not requested to purchase Adobe products at all. They have a free option to sign. Only you that are sending out requests need to have an Adobe Acrobat Pro or Standard license. Right, some of the caveats to take into consideration: there is limited administrative settings that are available to you. The roles limited to a signer, an approver, or a form filler. Right, there is a hard file size limit of 10 megabytes. The number of people that can be added to the documents to sign is limited to 10. If you're using the bulk send, it's limited to 50. Right? And the documents do not belong to the organization. They belong to the user that has logged into the Adobe Acrobat Pro and is sitting on their document cloud. Right. It does not support federated IDs or active directories, and there are no workflows available. Let's have a look and see how those of you with the free Adobe Reader will use this signing option. This next portion of the video covers how to request signatures using the free Adobe Reader. As you can see, I have not logged in. I am on the Home tab, and I am going to choose this Request for e-signatures. When I click on this, you're going to see it is going to open up the Request for e-signature panel. Things to take note of: you will see here at the top, send 2 documents for signatures every 30 days on a rolling basis. You will see once you've put in the email address, you can add somebody on copy. You can change the name of the document if you need to. So signatures in Reader. Right, and you can go to more options. You'll see when I choose more options, it is going to request that I sign in. You will see that once I've logged in with my free Adobe ID, it will then take me on to the next section where I can then go and add the number of people that are required. As you can see, the free Adobe Reader limits you to only 6 participants that can take part in the signing process. Again, you'll be able to add multiple files, and they are not limited to just PDF documents. You can go in there and use other documents like Word documents or Excel documents, depending on whatever you need to attach to the particular document at a time. You would then go ahead and click on Next. And the next screen that it is going to take you to is the fields where you're actually going to go and put on the signature fields. In this authoring section, you are going to click anywhere on your document, and a little pop-up HUD will appear that will give you the various field types that are available. So you could set it as a text field. You've got some other options here as well. So for example, if I had to just make this one a little bit bigger, you could stretch them out. And this one I'm going to make a name field. That means that the person who's signing's name will automatically be generated in there from when they create their signature. The next one I'm going to look at, you can see it's automatically picking up that it's a signature below. So it picks up a signature field. Because this says name below, it will automatically bring up a name field. And this particular one here, because it says date, I just need to click and it has a particular date field. Remember, if I had more than one signer, I would have two separate options available in this panel here, one for each email address that I had added, and I would then be able to set a different set of signature and form field options for my second signer. I've only got one here, so that's why it's only giving me one option. And then I would go ahead and click on the send button. Once my agreement has been sent, the person it was emailed to will then receive an email and a hyperlink requesting that they sign the document, and then after that I will have the ability to come in here to the all agreements section and choose the particular document that needed to be signed, and I would be able to see who has completed it, and I'd be able to see what activity has taken place on that particular document. And then I also have the ability here to go and download an audit report, the same as in Professional and the same as in the standard version, and this would give me a step-by-step process of what that document took to be able to be signed. This blue ribbon indicates that it is a certified signed document and that the signer's signature is valid. To just double check on these, you could see no changes are allowed. It is a valid certified document, and of course the signer's identity is valid. I got to this by clicking on the little pen tool in the navigation pane on the left hand side of my screen. If you do not see this ribbon, then you know that your document has been tampered with and that the signatures have not been certified and are not valid. Thank you for joining us for today's Adobe Acrobat Pro signing option. If you found today's topic useful, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow Magenta SA on Facebook to be notified of any events. Should you be interested in any of the previous videos in this series or on any other topics that Magenta SA have covered, please click on the link provided in the description below. Thank you.